Baby, you know. We were doing it in 1955. We were doing it in 1975. But every generation gets a chance to innovate. Every generation has a responsibility to do it better than the people before them. You know, there used to be a thing in our community where parents would say things like, I want to make sure my children do better than me. And every generation does a little bit better than the generation before them. And that's been challenged now.
Yes.
Okay.
Like economically at least, you know, African American children, young people are not doing as well as their elders on several measures. When it comes to own home,
Yes.
when it comes to educational attainment,
Yes.
that we used to say that a lot, and it became this thing around, you know, like if you work hard at what you're doing, and then you pass that on in a good way, in a good form, then it's expected that your children will do better than you.
Yes.
But it sort of underlies this idea that you have to do what you do well,
Yes.
well enough to pass it on to somebody.
Yes.
Like you don't want to pass on some raggedy stuff.
Tell the truth. Come on now.
You just don't.
Tell the
You know,
truth.
I
Yeah.
mean, like I have a car that belonged to my father. And if that car had been like a hoopty, I would not have brought it to California. There would have been no reason for me to take that 89 Cadillac that needed a little bit of work, ship it out here, treat it like this special thing. If it had somewhere, right? The same is true of our work. How we do what we do can't be raggedy. How we do what we do has to be the best of who we are.
I say.
The best of our thinking, the best of our speaking, the best of our doing. And so this morning, as I asked the elders for permission to continue, and we have elders in the room, is it all right?
Yes.
Continue and give all the elders a round of applause, no matter where they are. Keep all of them in prayer. Somebody informed me this week that Minister Lizelle got diagnosed with Parkinson's. So those of you who know him, keep him in your prayers. You know, as we get older, things happen. You know, things happen. But we give thanks for our elders. We give thanks for them because our elders in this community gave us something that stood us in good fashion. It's what we believe and what we practice. We call it our faith statement. And it's good to pay attention to it on a weekly basis, I think. And it says this: Mosaic community is a community of the way. And then it defines something. It says the way is truth, justice, and righteousness. When somebody asks you what Mosaic is about, it's a simple answer in many ways. We're a community of the way. It means we're a community. We're working with each other. That we didn't elect any kings and queens and none of that. We're going to talk about that king and queen thing because, you know, like we often say, well, you know, we were kings and queens. Well, functionally, everybody was not a king.
Okay. Yeah.
And everybody was not a queen.
Yes.
I mean, just based on how kingship works. Usually you have a king. You don't have 30 kings. So that's a kind of a European concept, actually. Right. And if we look at our history more closely, we had folks who were in charge of things, people who ran certain things, but then it was the community that was asked about their desires for what they wanted. There was not one person saying, we're going to do this and we're going to go this direction. That's when we began to have trouble. If you listen to Yikwe Armin, he said, when we started to say that one person was the person,
Right.
that's when we got in trouble. So what do we believe? What do we practice? It says we're a community. That means we have to have shared value. That we have to have shared working together. What do you, and I'm going to ask the question of us. We have a faith statement, which I'm going to read here. My question and the theme today is, what do you believe?
Yes.
And what do you practice?
Yes.
Not we, but you. Each individual have to ask and answer that question for themselves. I love this quote, and I have to thank Sister Latanya for leading 2 excellent weeks of conversation. And there's a quote that she shared with us today. It said, there are years that ask questions and years that answer. This is a year to answer a question, Moses.
Ashe.
2019 is a year to answer a question.
All right
How
now.
do we go forward?
Yes.
What do we look like as community?
Yes.
How do we work together?
Yes.
How do we keep our school on the right track?
Yes.
How do we make sure we take care of each other? How do we have accountability for each other in everything that we do?
Yes.
Ashe?
Ashe.
This is not a year to ask those questions, but we've been asking those questions ourselves. This is a year to answer some questions.
Okay.
That's Mama Zora giving us a little bit of guidance from her thing. And it goes to what we believe and what we practice. That's our foundational document. It says we believe the teachings. It doesn't say the teachings of Wikipedia.
Right. Come on
It
now.
doesn't say the teaching of Instagram.
Right. Come on now.
Twitter. None of that. It says we believe in the teachings of our elders
Yes.
and our ancestors.
Come on.
And then it gives us a couple of really important things that they believed and that they taught. They taught that the Creator God the one who's known by many names, created the universe and all life. They were definitive about that. That was not a question for them. They had thought about it, prayed on it, meditated on it. They figured out this is a truth for us. And then they said, beyond the teaching that the Creator God created the universe, they said, and has placed in each of us, what? A part of the divine spirit. So that's a great equalizer. That's a great balancing of things. That the Most High, didn't say the Most High set the Most High up in some distant place in the universe, inaccessible to us.
All right now.
It said the Creator gave you a part of the divine spirit where? In you.
In you. Come on now.
Not outside somewhere.
Yep.
We got a lot of religions and practices. We out searching for stuff. And it's right here in us.
Ashe.
That's right.
You got to search no further than yourself.
Teach good,
Because
Baba.
you're, in fact, the microcosm of the entire universe is in you.
Teach, Baba.
But we spent hours and years of our lives looking and searching and turning over rocks. And this year I'm in the nation, and next year I'm Orthodox Muslim, and this year I'm an AME and a CME and a Baptist and a Primitive Baptist and a E5 and an Nkisi and a Condom.
Come on.
It's in you.
Come on now.
It's in us.
Tell the truth.
Right now, today, as you sit here, the divine is in you.
That's right.
You don't have to believe me, because what does it say? It says, we believe in who? The teachings of the elders and the ancestors.
Ashe.
It didn't say nothing about the preacher, the Babalawo, or the faith healer. It said, I believe in the teachings of my elders and ancestors.
Come on now.
The collective knowledge, the collective wisdom.
I say.
There wasn't one person sat out like, you know, I'll do respect to the Mormons where Adam Smith goes out into the woods and they're looking for a place to be. They start in New York and then in Ohio and they end up in Utah, and then he finds these tablets out in the woods.
Right.
It says, here's what God told me to do. And then he lost the tablets. I find it very interesting. You got something that God gave you, and then you lost it.
Got my keys.
Got my keys, but I ain't got the tablet. I lost the tablet. I mean, think about that for a second. The most important thing that ever happened to you, and you lost it. Wow. But see, we go searching. Just like the Mormons, we go searching. The divine is in us. It says to place in each of us a part of the divine spirit, not all of God. Don't get it confused.
Right.
But then you think about it. If Mama, you know, Marcia got a little bit of divine in her, and Mama Fool got a little bit of divine in her, and Jalea got a little bit of divine in her, and Saint Sandra got a little divine in him, and Bible Study got a little divine in him, and why do we put all that divinity together?
I say. Come on now.
Now we looking like God.
Powerful.
We don't look the same, but that's that energy, that spirit. We just put it all together like the way you would put a lot of magnets together. You get them together, and now you got a stronger magnet.
Right.
But those magnets got to be lined up. Remember when you was a kid, you used to play with magnets? I used to play with magnets.
Yes, right.
And you put the north, the positive end to the positive, it didn't work. You got to put the positive to the negative.
Right.
You got to fit them together, because otherwise they push away, right?
Right.
And some, probably our spirit is probably like that too. We got to figure out, how do we connect our spirit? How do we connect our divinity?
Teach good, Baba.
How do we connect that special part of each of us and make it something greater than the individual parts?
Ashe.
That's what God is.
Yes.
And then the faith statement goes on and saying, again, I ask you the question, what do you believe? If you don't believe the divine is in you, then where do you think the divine exists? What do you practice? It says, God living in us and through us has given us a gift. Has given us the right and the responsibility and the power. I'm going to stop right there. When somebody gives you the right, responsibility, and power, you have no excuse.
Yeah.
Right.
What you waiting on?
What you waiting on?
Come on now.
Gave you the right, which means that you are legally, morally obligated to do something. And then it says you have the responsibility. Because one thing to have the right to vote, but then you don't use the vote, you are not using your responsibility. As voting as an example. You have a right to do something, but if you don't use it,
Yes.
it's a waste.
Right.
You have the right responsibility, and then the key word says power. Power. Power, that ability to do work, that ability to make things happen, that ability to govern, that ability to guide your life in a certain way. It says God gave you the right responsibility and power to do a couple things. Establish peace in all human life. Starting with yourself. You got to be at peace with yourself.
Yes.
You can't bring no peace to nobody else if you all messed up.
Yeah, true. Come on.
If you all got, as Roscoe said, if you got a screw face, how you gonna walk in the room and you all messed up, and now you gonna help somebody else? You gotta get yourself right first. You gotta look in the mirror first.
Yes.
Look in the mirror. And in that mirror, if you're looking at a divine spirit looking back at you, you can't do nothing but smile. God has been good to us. With all the trials and tribulations of this past week, with Victor McElhaney being killed, Mama Joyce making her transition, the folks in New Zealand, I mean, think about it, like you in prayer. You ain't bothering nobody. But that idea is like you have to have peace in yourself and then justice. Dr. King said that justice is love demonstrated in public. Justice is love demonstrated in public. He loved us enough to take I'm about to say what I'm supposed to say. To take a whooping for you. To take hoses for you. To take dogs for you. That whole generation. But it says that establish peace, justice, all human life. And it says all human life. It doesn't say all black life.
Yes.
It says all human life. Because if we're going to be the vanguard of Maat, if we're going to be the vanguard for true justice and righteousness, we got to be concerned with all of human life.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we don't start with ourselves.
Right.
Just because I love me don't mean I hate somebody else.
Right. Come on,
People get that twisted all the time.
Teach good,
Like I
Mama.
love black people. Yeah, I'm a black identity extremist.
Okay,
Yes,
now.
I am. I'm extremely black.
All right. Love it.
I'm extremely black identity. Yes, I am.
Yes.
I'm
Hallelujah.
extreme about peace and justice.
All
Yes,
right.
I am.
Yes.
I'm extreme about my culture.
Yes.
I ain't
Teach,
got,
Mama.
I'm unapologetically African.
All right now.
Ashe. I don't care what they say about it. I don't care.
All right.
Ashe.
Come
But it
on.
says peace and justice in all human life because we are the examples of humanity. Other folks would have burnt this down.
Yes.
Good.
You enslaved my ancestors. You tortured them. You raped my sisters. You sell my children away from me. You don't want to give me any parts of it like they didn't want to give Crisolo nothing down there in Plateau, Alabama. You don't want to share nothing with me. A lot of people would have burnt this down. Would have killed all them babies.
Yes.
Sorry, they would have. There's moments in history where that kind of genocide has happened.
Yes.
Right? We didn't do that.
Right.
We love humanity.
Yes, we do.
Because we have the divinity in us.
Come on now. Teach, Baba. Teach.
Giving us the right and the power to do what? Establish peace and justice in all human life. That's
Yes.
what our charge
Yes.
is.
Come on now.
All human life. Not the people you like.
Yes. Come on
Not
now.
the people you think are worthy.
Teach.
White folks too. They came out of us.
Yes.
Look at the history. They came out of Africa, but they lost their way.
Teach, Baba.
They
Teach.
lost their way.
Tell the truth.
Ashe.
Tell the truth about it.
All human life. Even the little kids you don't like.
All right now.
Even their parents that you
Yeah.
might not like.
Right.
The people on your block that make a lot of noise when you're trying to go to sleep.
Yes.
The people who are polluting the air. The people who you can't get around them because they parked in the middle of the street having some very important conversation. It
Keep
says
it
all
real.
life.
Keep it real, Baba.
All life. It's easy to love the people you love.
Yes. Come on.
It's hard to love the people that you don't like.
Woo.
Ashe.
Yes.
Be real about it. And then it says the other thing that we're required to do, God living in us, through us, giving us right and the power to establish peace and justice. And it also says, and establish true harmony with all the creation.
Ashe.
There's a couple times all gets used in here.
Yes.
And all should mean all.
Yes.
Not some,
Yes.
not what you choose, but not what's easy. But it says with all the creation. That means the natural environment too. That means paying attention to how you interact with the trees and the air and the earth itself. This season of spring is called purge in our tradition. It's the season of coming forth.
Come on now. Teach.
And in order for things to come forth, often things have to decay.
Yes.
Often things have to fall apart. Often things have to not look the way you look. Great example out of our history. When we had the first establishment of those early dynasties under Menes, Narmer as he's called sometimes. He united the land. He united the elements that make up ancient Kemet. And then they went on for a period of a couple thousand years. But what happened? They started forgetting about their values. They started forgetting about Maat. They started acting like the time for Maat is not now, it's some other time.
Right.
Time for Maat is right now. In every generation, the time for Maat is now.
Always.
And they started forgetting their values. They started forgetting of where they came from, who they were, why they were doing things. And we call it the intermediate period. It's a period of chaos. It's a period of pain. It's a period of lack of identity. It's a period where the society was falling apart, which meant that the people were probably falling apart too. Because it's hard to be that divinely inspired person in a culture, in a context, when everything else is going bad.
Yes.
It's hard to be righteous when everybody around you is not righteous. But it is our charge.
Yes. Come
It
on.
is what we're required to do.
Come on now. Teach good,
It's
Mama.
better to be right than popular.
Yes, yes.
It's better to be righteous than popular. Let me say it correctly. It's better to be righteous than have everybody like you.
Come on.
I'm at the point like, I don't care if you like me or not.
Thank you.
Honestly, I don't.
Thank you.
I care about whether I'm doing what God has put in front of me to do.
Come on now.
That's what I'm trying to be about.
Teach good,
I
Baba.
don't care. I like my friends. I like everybody else. I like to be liked. But I'm mostly interested in going, to the other life.
Come on.
So I can say this is what the passage I want to use today. This is passage page 111. Page 111 of the Hosea. It's part of that tradition of the book of coming forth. These words, these writings that people were saying, as they were dying. It's passage number 10. We're just going to read the second paragraph of that. Page 111 in the Hosea, passage number 10. It says this. I live on my eyes. I satisfy myself with the righteousness of my heart. For I have done that which men and women request, and that which pleases God. I have found favor with God by doing that which he loves. I have given bread to the hungry, water to the thirsty, clothing to the naked, and a boat to those without one. I have made due offerings to God, and funeral offerings to the departed. Deliver me then and protect me. Make no report against me in the presence of the great God, for I am one whose mouth is pure, whose hands are clean. Therefore let it be said to me, welcome, come in peace. By those who shall see me. Ashe.
Thank you.
Live on my eye. Don't worry about what other people Don't worry about what people gonna say.
Yeah, because
People always got something to say.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Zora Neale Hurston knew it. She did, battles with Langston Hughes and Woodson and other folks, but she still did her work. And here we are still talking about her.
Yeah.
Honoring her. But she was paying attention to that divine spark within her. It says lastly in this first paragraph of the faith statement, we believe in the living faith of our ancestors. That means the way is an evolving way. It says living faith. It's not some dead, stoic, ancient thing that needs to be dusted off. It says living faith. That living faith is the same living faith that your grandmamas had.
Come on now. Teach good,
In those
Mama.
prayer closets in Mississippi when they were praying for how we going to get through this week.
Yes.
How we going to make this little bit of cornbread and this little beans last for these children for the next 7 days.
Yes.
Living faith.
Yes. Come on.
Jamarcus Garvey had and his people, they said, we can do something different.
Yes.
We can have our great men and women of industry and business. Living faith.
Yeah.
Same faith that ancestors who built schools and churches in the period of Reconstruction, because they had a faith in themselves and in God that things were going to get better.
Yeah. Yes.
And most of them weren't waiting around for the 40 acres and a mule. They probably were like, it'll be nice if we could get this as a start. But they knew how this white supremacist thing worked. They had been living it. They've been watching it. They've been eating the crumbs off the table, eating the corners of the brick, eating the chitlins,
Yes.
eating the pools of the animal.
Come on.
Not high on the hog.
Well,
Our ancestors lived with that idea. They
Come on now.
understood.
Yes.
They weren't going to wait around. They said, we're going to make our demands, but in the meantime, we're going to do what we got to do.
Make a way out of no way.
A way out of no way. That's your living faith.
Thank you.
Dead faith is just simply praying and hoping something good is going to happen.
Yeah. Come on, Baba. Teach.
Living faith is putting some feet up under them prayers. As the grandma used to say.
Yeah.
You can't just pray and hope for the best.
like this stuff in.
You can't. You got.
Some feet up under some prayer.
You gotta put something on it. I
Come on
said,
now, Baba.
you gotta
Teach
put something on
good.
it.
Teach good.
Back in the day,
Right. Come on.
they say you gonna put 5 on it, bro. You want smoke? You gotta put something on it. Keep it real. You want a drink? You want some of this? You gotta put a little something on it.
Okay, now.
You can't still get praying for that 40.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make it plain.
you are.
You can't just pray with 40. You gotta put what you got in your pocket. I got 5 on it. I got a couple of dollars. What you got, Sid?
I got a couple of dollars.
What we gonna do?
You gonna do
Living
something?
faith.
Yeah.
You gotta put some energy in.
Yes.
There's a story I want to tell. I didn't make it up.
Who did?
Once upon a time, there's this rich man on a boat. He's on a voyage along with some other passengers, and a big, violent storm blew up and capsized the ship. Turned the ship over. Now, while all the rest of the people they could see the shore, they said, "You better get to swimming." But this rich man, he's sitting holding on to the boat as the boat is sinking, praying. And he's praying hard. Oh, Lord. I know you see this serving on the boat. He's praying on the boat. Praying. Well, we thought he was praying. Praying hard. And he's steady going down. And the people next to him say, "Bruh, man, you can't put that all on God. You better start swimming.
Come
You
on
better
now.
start using your arms." That's living faith.
All right now.
Pray and work. Pray and act. Pray and put something on it.
Come on now.
Pray and put some feet under those aspirations.
All right.
Pray so that you can be like the brother in this passage. He says, "I live on my eye."
Ah, Shay.
He said, "I live on my eye." And in that context, he was living on my eye in the context of time. Our ancestors had a profound relationship with time. They imagined and came up with the whole concept of time. Think about this. You have to have some concept of time.
Shay.
And time changes around. Last week we changed the clock.
Yes, yes.
So you change how you measure the time. Now we're an hour ahead. We don't know why. And nobody in this room can really say why we do this, right? Some about more sunlight, agriculture. My thing is like, there's going to be a certain number of hours in the day no matter what. When the sun come up, go out to work. When the sun go down, come home. Why you got to go through all that, right? But it's an interesting example of how human beings, we play with time. Right. You know, and in the tradition of Kemet, in the tradition of Africa, you know, they had a passage that talked about time. And here's how the passage starts. They talk about it this way. They say, "Happy day. This day, apportioned, distributed, allocated, to divide correctly, shared into minutes." They said, "Happy day." I like how they started. They start out like time is happy because you got time. When your time is up, your time is up.
Come on.
Serious. And your time is going to be up. Everybody in this room, that's the one thing I'm positive about. One day your time in this form up. Finished. Alarm clock went off, ain't no snooze button. You can't snooze that. Like, cause you know in the morning you be snooze. It hit snooze like, my own phone only allows me to hit snooze 3 times. You gotta get up after that. I say. That's the same with this life. You can try to hit snooze, and you will hope to ascend and get up one day. I say. The other thing they talked about it in the seasons. Aket was a flood time. Pert was this time of the appearance in the fields, you know, like the springtime. And then Shemu was the time of dryness. It parallels what people talk about West Africa. You have a wet season and a dry season. Here we talk about fall, winter, spring, summer. Here in the Bay Area right now, it's all just kind of mixed in. You have some days that look like winter, and the next day it feels like summer, and then spring hit, and then you got water. It's all topsy-turvy. But they also had a profound, deep understanding of time as eternity. They thought about eternity. When you think about that, when you think about eternity, you can't even really wrap your mind around that.
Come on
You
now.
can't really wrap your mind about, well, when did eternity start and when does it end? So that's why we have increments of time. We have minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, etc. But they thought about eternity as a cycle. As a cycle. And everything that's in a cycle means everything goes around, comes around. It's cyclical. Just like that new kingdom, the old kingdom, intermediate period, then you get the middle kingdom. A period of stability. period where you came back to the values, and another intermediate period before you get to the new kingdom. That's a cyclical piece. And that's all in the context of eternity. They were deeply concerned with the comprehension and use of time. They said time took on this cosmic aspect. And that global time, like the time we think about in how we measure time, was conceived of as this. Eternity. Think about it. Try to put in your mind an image of eternity if it was a wave. If it was like a wave of energy, for instance. But eternity is constantly flowing into the present to become the past. So it's about eternity is this ongoing dynamic. And that eternity, when it gets to this microphone, now we're in the present, but then it's quickly moving it's moving to the past. So the future, the past, and the present are all interconnected in their view. Eternity, the forward thinking, is constantly connected to the past. And it's in a cycle. So the question is, how do we use our time?
Yes.
How do we use our part of eternity? How do we take the moment to activate what we believe and what we practice? What do you believe and what do you practice? The time for Maat is right now. Truth, justice, and right order is always in fashion. The time for Maat is right now. Reciprocity, living in reciprocal relationship with other people, always in style. Harmony, balance, and order, they're the legacy of our ancestors. They're the thing that we owe them, the right and responsibility and the power to do so that our children would do better than us. That every child who comes to Eliam Day, it shouldn't matter when they come to Eliam Day, should do better than the kids before them.
Yes.
They should do better, be better. Why? Because they're divine. They're sacred.
Teach good.
Whenever you start blaming children for something, oh, kids did this, then you can't, you're off.
You off? Yep.
Because children learn from who? The adults.
Us.
They learn from us.
Yes.
They watch us.
Yes.
Anybody got kids know there's so much you can say that if you don't do it, they don't care about
Come
that.
on.
They don't care about what you said.
Yep.
They
Yep.
care about what you do. Ashe. Even when it comes down to the stuff they want. If you tell them we're going to the amusement park and you don't never go, they remember that.
Oh yeah.
Ashe. And they will remind you, Baba, didn't you say we was going to the amusement park? That's on Monday. Say, yeah, we're going Tuesday. Baba, you said we're going to the amusement park, right? When we going? Little kids are very precise about this sort of thing.
Yes.
Now, they might not be as precise about doing their homework, keeping their room clean, doing all this other stuff. But our children basically send you reminders. What do you believe?
Yes. Yes.
What do you practice? The way of Maat is truth, justice, and righteousness. Our ancestors told us very clearly. They think Maat. So if you think in those terms, then you can speak in those terms. And if you speak in those terms, then you can do in those terms.
Say.
They said, think Maat, speak Maat, and do Maat. With that right, responsibility, and power, we can get all of it done. Ashe. We want to be able to say what the writer says here. It says, in our last moments on this earth, I live on my eye. I satisfy myself with the righteousness of my heart. For I have done that which men and women request, and that which pleases God.
Yes.
I have found favor with God by doing that which God loves.
Yes.
I've given bread to the hungry,
Yes.
water to the thirsty, clothes to the naked, and a boat to those who didn't have a way. In other words, a way out of no way. I have made offerings to the Most High, funeral offerings to the departed. It's saying I honor my ancestors. Deliver me then and protect me. Make no report against me in the presence of the great ones. For I am one whose mouth is pure, whose hands are clean. Therefore let it be said to me, welcome.
Come.
Come in peace. Welcome. Come in peace. Welcome.
Yes.
Come in peace.
Ashe.
I'd like you to stand with me if you would. We got to be a little creative here because the Oakland Running Festival is happening next Sunday. So instead of meeting at Lake Merritt, it's going to be crowded. The streets are going to be blocked. It's going to be impossible to get over there. And so what we're gonna do is we'll meet at Roberts Park.
Okay.
We'll send, where we've always met, we'll send the announcements out again, and if we can, Marcia can help us with that. Send the announcements out, make sure that everybody knows, and get on the phone, like old school, how we used to call people something. Like, we can wait on like the Twitter feed or the Instagram or whatever, which is cool, you know, those things are cool for certain things, right? But if you know somebody who's not here today, give them a call, say next week we will be in the Roberts Park, right?
And we put a sign on the door too.
We'll put signs on the door, we'll make sure people know. And then, let's see, a week from today, we'll be in the park. 2 weeks from today, we'll be here for Sunday Soul Session, featuring the music of Earth, Wind, and Fire. That should be a lot of fun. On the 29th, as part of the Drum Circle, we'll be hosting a Baba who has written a book called Sacred Healing Arts. And we're gonna do a little drumming that night and make it all work together. Am I missing any other?
Any news about the Maat?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that the first service will be happening on Wednesday night at the Malanga, and I believe it's at 6 o'clock. We'll try to get, maybe we can try to get the word out today on that too. We're not sure exact. That's gonna be more or less what they're calling a not so quiet hour. So it's gonna be like. Typically, you have quiet hours as part of funeral rituals. This is going to be music. So it's going to be drummers, it's going to be Kev Choice, Jennifer Johns, some other folks. So bring a drum if you want to sit in that. But that's going to be the first thing. And then after that, I know they're trying to do something later in the week, and I'm not sure exactly when. So, but we'll try to keep people informed about that.
How about Sister Joyce? Anything on Joyce?
Oh, thank you. So for Mama Joyce, there are going to be 2 services. One will be here on Saturday, March 30th at 1 o'clock. That's the first one. And then her family is going to do something on April 7th. And when we get the details about that, we'll share those details too. But we wanted to do something here to make it easier for people who are here to come and celebrate her life. And then again, April 7th, which is a Sunday, I think they're trying to do it like at a rec center. We don't have all the details yet, but when we get the details, we'll let folks know.
I have an announcement on actually next Saturday on the 23rd from 7 to 9. I work with the Haiti Action Committee, so we're doing a fundraiser there. Stones of Fire will be there, key dancers will be there, and Good Love will be there. So we would really appreciate you support Haiti.
Where?
It's going to be at the Malanga.
You said 7 o'clock?
Yes, 7 to 9. We appreciate
All right.
you showing up.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
Yes, thank you. Sankofa Kitty Dance Ensemble is having an annual benefit for our dance company on April 13th from 12 to 3:30. I have flyers. There should be some flyers on the back, and I have tickets if you want to get it. Tickets are $16. You get a raffle ticket also with that, and then we have another part, a raffle by itself, but the ticket comes with a raffle ticket. So it's $16. If you want to get a ticket from me, you can get a ticket from me.
At the deferment?
And Deformity Recreation Center. Thank you.
Excellent. All right.
One more thing, just please, our Ujima box is empty. If you could please bring in hygiene items for our unsheltered brothers and sisters out here who are being evicted from their encampments left and right. They're activists who are trying to get people situated and they need supplies. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, baby wipes, and that sort of thing. So please, our box is empty now. I'd like to be able to call to circle it out. I can bring something over.
Thank you for that.
And that's very good because I haven't put anything in. I'm glad you reminded me.
All right. Miss everybody?
Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky. Let it resound till victory is
Now,
won.
we want to call it for Calendar Generation that we are one people.
One people.
Having one faith.
One faith.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
One love.
One love.
We call that name that our answer is for Calendar Generation. Let's all say. You are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Repeat after you.
Moja.
And Billy.
And Billy.
Tatu. One hand to give.
One hand to give.
One hand to receive.
One hand to receive.
As we eat together.
As we eat together.
In the Moja.
In the Moja.
For the liberation.
For the liberation.
And self-determination.
And self-determination.
Of the African nation.
Of the African nation.
One mind.
One mind.
One heart.
One heart.
One love.
One love.
All praise to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High.
Respect for our ancestors.
Respect for our ancestors.
Aye.